Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Peter, and in this video I want to share some of my thoughts on the latest Thrustmaster SF1000 steering wheel. So I bought this wheel mainly to design the quick release for it, because all other Thrustmaster wheels have their compatible quick releases made by me available. So just to have the full range of products covered, I kind of had to get it. But then I also decided to maybe make a quick review on it, mainly because all the other reviews online seem to be extremely positive about it. And, well, I don't really share that opinion as much. And secondly, the second reason was that Barry from Sim Racing Garage didn't get his yet, and so I decided that I'll also do like a detailed disassembly of the wheel, but I think that's going to be a separate video. So before I start talking about my thoughts on this wheel, just a few comments. So number one, I bought this wheel for my own money. Nobody paid me to say anything good about it, but also nobody paid me to say anything wrong about it. Secondly, I don't really do Formula One. I mainly drive in Assetto Corsa Competizione, which probably affects my opinion of on this particular steering wheel. And lastly, I only drive on the PC, which means that I have way more different alternatives compared to the console drivers. So with that out of the way, let's cover different areas of the steering wheel. So I want to start with the grips. Yeah. So I mean, this is something you interact with the most. On a good side, they're very nicely profiled. Yeah. So the way you're holding the wheel, you see all the indents on the back. It does fit the hand very comfortably. But unfortunately, I mean, I'll probably say that quite a lot during this review, but it's a 330 pounds steering wheel. And these grips, this is a very hard and cheap feeling rubber. There's like a plasticky rubber. Yeah, there's nothing even remotely premium about this grip. Yeah, like there was I had a similar experience with the old F1 steering wheel. So the rubber grips on this one were a bit, I mean, they weren't as stiff, so it was just like a proper, really like a pretty rubbish rubber. But then I used these like a tennis racket over grips on them, so that significantly improved the way that the wheel feels in the hand. Now, I was hoping to do the same in this one, but if you look at it, when I hold it, it's pretty tight. There's not much extra space. So basically, if I were to add the tennis overgrips on these, it would make them thicker and probably not very comfortable. So I decided not to do that, which basically leaves everybody who's using this wheel with just one option, which is using the racing gloves, because I mean I've been driving it for like half an hour or so. And it just gets sweaty. It gets uncomfortable. It just doesn't feel nice. So, yeah. One thing is that you have to use this wheel with gloves. Point number two, which is the carbon fiber frame. So, like a carbon fiber main plate, front plate. It is, I think, 3 millimeters thick. So that's fine. The whole wheel makes a bit of noise, but overall feels quite sturdy. So that's pretty good. Also, it's nice and shiny, as you can see. I have to say I like it. I mean, it is a fingerprint magnet, So if you're heavily into aesthetics, you won't like it. But it's good. Yeah, I like the use of carbon fiber. It's a good step forward. It's also chamfered on the edges, so on the bottom, as well as here when you have the thumbs, so close to your fingers on the top. I mean, it's still slightly sharp, but it's okay. I mean, it would be very difficult to like scratch your finger on it. But around the screen, they didn't do that. I mean, this is super sharp here. Like, I don't know if the camera will show it, probably not. But literally, but really, you don't want to just heavily ride your fingers on the edge. I mean, this is not a touch screen, so theoretically, there is no need to touch this area of the wheel. But, I mean, come on. Again, 330 pounds for this wheel. Really, you couldn't chamfer it here. I don't know. It just feels... I doesn't get it. So as I mentioned, the screen. So let's maybe carry on this one. So yeah, I mean, I think it's like a 4.3 inch. Nothing special. We have the LEDs on top, on the sides. I'll definitely look much closer to how these are all working, what model of the screen is it, etc. when I do the detailed disassembly. But it's, as I'm recording it, it's the 16th of May, and I've upgraded the firmware on the wheel, on my steering wheel base, and it's still only compatible with Formula 1 2020 by Codemasters. So just so I can see if the screen works and the LEDs, I had to buy this game. And I don't, not a huge fan, but anyways, that's the problem, right? Again, it's a very premium price, at least for Thrustmaster. It is a significant amount of money, and you can only use the wheel to its full potential with a single game. After 1 month when it was introduced, so I don't know. I don't fully get it. What are the politics behind it? Anyways, not my thing. Another comment I have with regards to this wheel is that, well, okay, it doesn't work with all the games. I mean, for now, it basically works with none of the games apart from one. But when you have it on, it just loops between Ferrari and Thrustmaster logos, and that's it. It doesn't do anything else. It just goes one logo, then the other. Like, if it's not compatible with the game, why won't you at least, for example, show the time? Yeah, show the clock and the date. Why wouldn't that be better than just loop through, the logos that nobody really cares about? And lastly, with regards to the screen, if you watch some other of my videos, I've used Nextion screens in few of my designs, and the SimHub application works with every single game, right? Every single game on the market. And Thrustmaster, which is a global company, couldn't make it work, at least with the most popular games. Yeah. Okay, let's not now move to the buttons on this wheel. So this is actually only positive, because I really like these buttons. They do require a bit of extra force, so it's not like a very light push. You need to like really push them a bit stronger, but they have a very positive click to them, and they have a noticeable sound, but they're not too loud. So yeah, overall, I really like the experience of using these, especially if we compare them to the old F1 one. So this was, I mean, these just feel extremely cheap and not very pleasant to push. In addition, you could move them around, which really looks terrible. That is not the case with these. I mean, they stick. I mean, you can't twist them. Yeah, so that's definitely very positive. Then we have the rotary encoders and the switches. So the rotary encoders are, I mean, they're absolutely brilliant. I love them. So you have a very positive click to them, and they're way better to like the cheap eBay rotary encoders that I've been using in some of my mods. Same goes for the rotary switches. So they have a very nice positive click to them. There's literally nothing bad I can say about them. They're great. I really like how these work. So good job there, Thrustmaster. Right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the paddle shifters. So these are, well, finally magnetic. So we have the magnets here, yeah, which is like way better compared to what they did with the older one, which was just the clackety clack. Yeah, and so at least right now you don't have to buy any additional mods to make it magnetic. The downside though is that they're quite loud. What I really like about the design here is a pretty simple but yet very effective system for the push and pull. Just move it a bit here. As you'll notice, I don't know if you see, so there's a magnet, and here's another one, you see it? Right, so this basically just moves up, and then there's this small plastic here. Oh, can you see it? Yeah, small plastic here that's preventing it from going down. Yeah, I have to admit, it's a very smart solution, and I really like that. What I'm not so keen on with these paddles is the build quality, because this is not CNC'd aluminum. It's casted as far as I can see, and then they just brushed it. And you can feel that. It's not a refined quality, and it's a bit sharp as well. Like here, all the edges here, they're really sharpish, I have to say. They really could just chamfer them a bit more. It's not that big of a deal, and it would make the experience much nicer, I have to say. Yeah, and overall, I'm not a huge fan of these. I mean, they feel a bit harsh. Yeah, there's not like a smooth experience. It's like boom, 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 boom. I don't know. I think they might have refined them a bit nicer. But anyways, they're not terrible. They're pretty good. Okay, let's move to the clutch paddles. So here they are at the bottom. We have two of them. Well, they work, but the major flaw, in my opinion, is there is no option to set the bite point. I mean, why would you have two clutch paddles and no bite point setting? I don't understand that. I'll look into whether it can be done like by adding a potentiometer or something. I'll see if that's possible. And hopefully Thrustmaster also will add it in their software, because like right now you can use them separately. So for example, they don't have to be a clutch. You can use one as a throttle and the other one as a brake. So they're being both axes are being identified separately. So potentially they could add a software update when you control the bite point of one axis versus the other. Yeah, let's hope they'll do that, because that would greatly improve the usability of these. Now look though how these are shaped. I mean, did somebody really put any thoughts into the design? It almost feels like an afterthought, like, oh yeah, we forgot the paddles, but we have to put the wheel on the market tomorrow, so let's just put some random shape on that. It really looks, I mean, they're so basic and ugly, really. But yeah, I know it's it's on a bag. You don't look at them often. Fine, yeah, I can accept it. Yeah, Kai, I don't want to be that guy that criticizes everything. But there's one thing I just can't let go of. These, can I show it here? Yeah. These edges here, yeah, these on the back side. These are extremely sharp. Like I have scratches of the back of my fingers because when I'm driving, I hit the clutch paddles on the bottom, and these edges are very sharp here. I mean, it's unforgivable, really. It's terrible. You know, I keep scratching my fingers. That's not really acceptable. That's very bad, especially at this price point. Again, £330. Last thing I want to cover is the quick release, Thrustmaster's quick release. I mean, there's a reason that quite a few people bought the mod I made for Thrustmaster ecosystem rather than use this screw-on thingy. It's just not very convenient. But on top of that, with this wheel, we have so little space here to screw on the quick release. It's very tight. It's like the worst of any of the wheels, Thrustmaster wheels I've tried so far, because there's very little space to fit your fingers between the wheelbase and the steering wheel. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do something about it. So there's going to be like a proper quick release on it. Not sure how long that will take, but I'm putting quite a high priority on this at the moment. Okay, so time for some final thoughts. Well, first of all, it is way too expensive. Yeah, it's just, it's not there. Yeah, £330 is a lot of money, and this is not. It doesn't feel like a premium product. Yeah, I mean, okay, you have the nice carbon fiber here, but this, you know, a carbon fiber plate like this, you can buy it from AliExpress for £25. You have the nice paddle shifters, magnetic paddle shifters. You have the buttons, fine. You have the screen, great. But well, first of all, the screen can't be used with anything really right now, and it's all plastic anyway. The grips are plasticky. It's not premium product really. It doesn't feel like one. So I strongly believe that, you know, it should be like maximum £250 maybe. Yeah, and that point with regard to the price relates to my second view, is that this wheel is very unbalanced because it has some nice points like brilliant buttons, great feel to it, great fitting. I mean, the great shape of the grips. But then you have, you know, like sharp edges on the paddles. You have the screen that doesn't work with almost any game. You have the grips that are just very cheap rubber. I mean, you know, it should be a bit more balanced. I don't understand that. You know, you're selling it as a premium product, as a replica, and yet it's lacking in so many areas. And one thing also, like I talked about the buttons, how much I like them, and we have those switches and everything, but I actually forgot about it before. The thing is, yeah, they are advertising it that all the buttons work, which is great. The problem is, these 1, 2, 3, and 4 switches are all dedicated only to changing the settings on the screen. Yeah, so it almost feels like, okay, with the old F1 wheel, we were criticized for using dummy buttons. So let's say that all the buttons work, which is great. But realistically, you know, these 4 are almost like dummy buttons. In addition, these 2 that you can assign to functions in the game, the bottom ones, these are not 12 position switches. These are just rotary encoders. So you go up or down. You can't have a separate setting for each position of this switch. So that was a bit disappointing for me. And if you were to ask me, would I recommend buying it? I would say no, for now. Because in a few months' time, I'm sure the price will go down. Also, there will be way more games compatible with the screen. And at that stage, probably there will be some extra mods to the wheel. I'm really hoping my quick release will be on the market. Maybe some tweaks to the paddles. Maybe Thrustmaster will add the bite point to the clutch settings. I think it will be a much better option in a few months' time rather than now. Right, so that's kind of all comments I have about this wheel. Apologies, it might have been a bit chaotic because I didn't really script this video. So tell me what you guys think. Am I just being picky? And the price for this wheel is fully justified, or you guys agree with my points, or maybe you have some other experiences on your own. Right, so in a few days time I'm hoping to release a detailed disassembly video. Thanks for watching and have a good rest of the day. Bye.